computer. All right, we are on. Joshua Hernandez here, coming at you, hanging out with a good friend of mine, Paco, the Realtor. Paco Lucia, good to have you on. Thanks for making the time.
Thanks for having me, Josh. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. You constantly are communicating, and I think I see at least 1 or 2 live videos on Facebook every week, with information, education. This is you've been in the real estate business for some time. I come to you for advice, and you're always actually promoting other people. And so I don't normally do videos like this. This is actually my first one I do in an interview, maybe in over 3 or 4 years. But I have to tell you, actually inspired me to do something like this, because you're always doing this for other people. I want to do something like this for you and just kind of hang out and pick your brain on a few things.
Awesome. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah. So first off, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do. For anybody watching you, meeting you for the first time.
Sure. My name is Paco Licea, or Paco the Realtor. I've been a real estate broker for 15 years in the Inland Empire. My office is in Riverside. I do it full time. It's how I make my living. I specialize in residential purchase and sales. I would say that what makes me a little different is I would say I'm an expert in the industry, as opposed to somebody who just buys and sells for people. From the investment standpoint to the purchase to the sale, it's a little different, a little unique the way I approach it, which is always a good thing. I'm also president of the Inland Valley Association of Realtors, which is where if you're a licensed agent within our area, you have to belong to an association. There's over 3,400 of us in our area. And so I'm really involved in our industry within the state and national level, making sure that that politicians understand the importance of homeownership and the importance and benefit it brings to individuals and families.
That's big. You've gotten into a position now where you're not just supporting, you're supporting consumers individually, but you're not just doing individual transactions. And now you're spending time at a different level to help work with, rules, guides, laws, politicians,
right?
To better serve anyone that is looking for a home. Or just in real estate in general. So that's kind of a nonprofit thing is what you're doing now. And thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, bottom line, Josh, is in your industry, home ownership as a long-term investment is great. More importantly, as a tax shelter because of the interest deduction. I can tell people all the time, you're paying a mortgage. You might be paying somebody else's mortgage, but you're paying a mortgage whether you rent or own. And if we all know, when you rent, you don't get that back. And when you own, you get that back. And it's important that it stays that way. And there's certain things coming down the pipeline where they like to take the interest deduction away to balance the budget, things of that sort. So we're just there to make sure they understand what makes this country great, which is anybody in the world, whether you're a citizen or not, can own real estate. And that's the importance of it. Yeah,
that's a big mission, man. And I gotta say thanks for all the help that you've supported me on. And you've done such a good job for anyone that I've connected you with. There was even a time where one of my clients you helped purchase a home, she loved the experience so much, she ended up working for you. You inspired her to become a real estate agent. So
yeah, that would be Sylvia. That is correct. She was a tough cookie. I tell her all the time, you were a tough cookie, but we walked her through that process.
Yep. High maintenance, totally.
I didn't say that. You did.
You're not listening to this, Sylvia. But I mean, that's the biggest compliment, I think, that someone does such a good job for you that you love the experience so much that you actually want to do that job. So thank you. I've got a question for you that a lot of people have been thinking about, and this just recently happened with rising interest rates. With the interest rates rising right now, should it deter people from buying a home?
It's funny you say that. The reality is that when interest rates go up, we get busier. And there's 2 reasons why. To answer your question is no. You buy a home when you're ready, period. doesn't matter what the market's doing. You're buying a home. If you try to time the market times you out. If you wait for the houses to be cheap, your rates are going to be high. If rates are high, houses are cheap. They're always doing this. You can't time it. If we knew that, we'd all be billionaires. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
If you're an investor, that's one thing. If you're an investor trying to do flips and things like that, then it's a little more important. But if you are a homeowner, regardless of the interest rate, you buy a home when you're ready, because again, you're still paying rent, so you're paying somebody else's, so you might as well get that money back in interest deduction. The second thing about that is we actually get busier because NAR, the National Association of Realtors, have a survey that says that the number one reason why people don't buy who can't afford to buy is lack of urgency. Rates going up creates urgency. And so they jump in it before they get priced out. Mm-hmm. And we suffer from lack of inventory. So if you're a buyer, you're going to be battling with a lot of people for a home. I have a client right now who I have made over 20 offers. And the bottom line is we keep getting outbid because there's 10 people bidding on it. And that's just a reality.
I see. So that actually is harder. There's lower inventory. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of competition. But bottom line, if you're looking for a home because you want a home, and you can afford it, it's worth doing. Now, when you get into the investor side of things, that's a different scenario, and you got to look at money and cost and value.
Right, and you know what? And I'll tell you who taught me that. It wasn't some economist somewhere. It was my dad. My dad in 91 bought his house for $175,000 in Mariloma. Within 3 years, it was worth $140,000. So he was upside down, right? Forward 15 years later, it's worth $600,000. Mm-hmm. So I remember once saying to my dad, "It's like, wow, Dad, look at all this equity." He goes, "Mijo, I've been upside down and I've had a ton of equity, but it doesn't matter because it's my home and I'm not selling anyways. Mm-hmm. So I don't care what the market does. As long as I can afford the payment, it's all that matters."
He's buying the home for his family, and that's what mattered.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people are looking to buy. They don't know where to go. And there's a lot of people doing what you do. What should people look for in a real estate agent? Maybe 2 top things or 3 top things in a nutshell. What do you think is probably the most valuable thing that they can look for in an agent?
Interview the agent. Let's start by that. People don't do it enough. Let me give you some stats before I get to that. 80% of all realtors in the state of California do less than 5 transactions per year. That means they don't make a living out of it. That means they're literally just transactions. It's not what they need to move forward and make money. And unfortunately, it's so easy to get a license in the state of California that we all know somebody, mm-hmm. family, friend, relative, and we know a ton of them that do it part-time. And so the way I would ask you this, first interview to make sure you get along with them. I mean, let's start there. When you're going to buy the most expensive asset you're ever going to buy, when you are going to deal with the most stressful time, with exception to divorce and death, buying a home is going to be one of the most stressful times of your life. You want somebody who does it full-time, who knows how to walk you through that process that can be very difficult and frustrating. Yeah. So you got to interview them. And I would say make sure they're full-time. Make sure they're a realtor. There's a difference between a realtor and an agent. A realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors, and I can legally do everything right, but ethically do something wrong and get dinged for it. An agent does not abide to ethics. They are just licensed. They can sell real estate, but if they do everything legally right, there's nothing you could do wrong. So why wouldn't somebody invest money in making sure that they're also ethical? Mm-hmm. So those would be the 2 things I would say. Full-time, interview them, make sure they're full-time, make sure you get along with them, and make sure, ask them, are you an agent or are you a realtor? And if they say an agent, then they don't believe enough to invest in their own industry, and that should tell you something.
Right. So there's got to be a connection there naturally. You got to like them, trust them. And then, you know, full time is very, very important, very valuable. What you're saying, them making that this is their actual career, and that they're a realtor.
Exactly. And then, you know, I would say this is that, you know, that connection is important. That trust is important because that's the one person that's in that transaction to protect you. So that's the one person that you're going to be able to have to fully trust to walk you through all this. And if you don't trust them, you need to go find somebody else.
Yeah, it's a very, very emotional process to go through, and you know, everyone knows it's the biggest, usually the biggest investment of your life, and it's scary, and you need someone that, you know, hold your hand, walk you through it, and that's just not just a license that's involved. There's experience, and there's human nature, and there's trust, and there's a lot involved. So it's yeah, there's a lot to it. You know, they always say that people say that real estate agents get paid a lot of money, and they can get paid well. But man, I see how hard you guys work, and I think you guys earn every dollar you make. You know, at least the agents that I work with that do work hard and that are ethical. So I've seen how hard you guys work. I don't want to make this too long, and if I can ask you this one question, and maybe you can share, you know, quick kind of response. But I see a lot of ads about how you can learn how to buy a home and flip a home, and make that a way to make money. Is there anything to that? Is that just hype? Is it too late to do that? Is that worth looking into? Maybe that's too many questions to.
The short answer is yes, you can make a lot of money in it. That's a short answer. Yes, it's real. The what they don't tell you is that's a full-time job too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're flipping, you're looking for property that you're going to get at a discount, fix up, and then resell, right? So you got to have one of two things. You got to have the money to buy it, or you got to have the inventory. You got to be going to know where to find the houses. Either way, it's a full-time job. So for people to think they're going to become millionaires by doing flips on the side, it doesn't work like that. It's no different. There's no shortcuts, but you will be sold that. They will tell you for $1,000 you could buy my seminar and I can show you how to become a millionaire overnight. It does not work like that. It takes time. It would take months of you to shadow someone, to learn from someone, so you don't make mistakes, for you to figure out how all this works. And there's a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot of legality behind it. But to answer your question, yes, absolutely 100%. It's possible. It's doable. It's feasible. People do it all the time. But you need to go understanding that, with the understanding that you're not going to become a millionaire overnight, and it's going to take time for you to learn it. If you understand that, you'll be fine. If you approach it by, I'm going to find 3 houses this year, I'm going to flip them and make, you know, $100,000 on each, you're being very unrealistic.
Okay, that's honest. So there's a way to do it. It's possible. It's going to take some time, some learning, some patience. So yeah, you know, thanks for answering that.
No problem. It's one of the #1 questions I get.
Yeah.
I want to make money in real estate. How do I do it?
Right. Can I be an
And I
agent?
said, are you willing to work 12 hours a day? And they say, no, that's why I want to join real estate. And I said, this industry is not for you then. Because the reality is, if you don't do that, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, that's honest. That's honesty, man. Wow. Good stuff. This is a lot to digest. Hey, you know what? I know you got things going on, and I want to say thanks for making some time to just hang out with me for a little bit. Could you share a way to contact you if anyone has any questions or wants a further explanation on some of the stuff we talked about today?
I'd love to. It's easy. Just type in Paco the Realtor, and you'll find me everywhere. But Paco at PacoTheRealtor.com, PacoTheRealtor.com, Facebook Paco the Realtor, Instagram Paco the Realtor, Snapchat Paco the Realtor, or good old-fashioned phone. So you can just call me at 951 area code 213-9131, and that is my direct line. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. There's no such thing as stupid questions, man. The more you know, the easier this process is.
Yeah, and I gotta say that you know, you gotta look for the Paco the Realtor car.
The Paco Mobile.
The Paco Mobile. It's like Where's Waldo, and now it's turning to Where's Paco. So hey, man, thanks for spending some time. Good hanging out. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Hey, Josh. By the way, for your first video, this is good. You need to do these more often, my friend. But this is a good start for you.
Good one.
Congrats, but
Thank you. Thanks for being my guinea pig, buddy.
anytime,
All
anytime,
right.
Josh. All right, buddy.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.